What is up guys, Chris here and welcome to a new Destiny video today. Before we get into the Destiny video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support over the last year. Last year on New Year's Eve I had 90 subscribers, this year on New Year's Eve I had 490 subscribers, and just since that day I've reached 522 subs. That's 30 subs in just 6 days. I hope to see this support continue. It's absolutely amazing and I really appreciate every one of you guys subscribing, viewing my videos, liking the videos. Whatever you do, thank you so much. Today's Destiny video is about getting better in the Crucible, whether you're completely new to the game or you just want to take your gameplay to the next level. The gameplay I got for you guys today is a 45-2 on the map, fire-based Delphi in control, and you're going to see me do a lot of things right, but you're also going to see the enemy team do a lot of things wrong that we are going to get into. I will put notifications on the screen when you see the enemy team doing something wrong, because I won't be viewing the gameplay as I commentate, as it usually puts me off and makes the commentary less worthwhile to listen to. So one of the very first things you want to consider before even going into the Crucible is your sensitivity. A lot of people think it's very good to play on a high sensitivity, and it definitely has its perk, especially in Destiny where the sensitivity is low by default. But it also gives you a severe disadvantage when it comes to actually hitting your shots, which is the most important part of Destiny. If you can't hit your shots, you're obviously never gonna win a gunfight. And I often hear people complaining that they can't hit these shots, and when I hear which sensitivity they play on, it's absolutely ridiculous. They're gonna be playing on 10 or so. So I recommend you play on a 3 out of 10 sensitivity, but definitely experiment yourself, find the one that's right for you. But I definitely say no higher than 5 is gonna be efficient in Destiny. The next thing is the radar. You wanna learn the radar before you even go into a Crucible match. It's actually quite simple. The radar is split into 8 parts and a circle in the middle that indicates how close your enemies are and in which direction. But what a lot of people don't know is you can actually see on what level these people are as well. If the radar shows a bright red color, that means the enemy is on the same level as you. But what a lot of people don't know is that if it's more of a transparent sort of dull red color, they're going to be above or below you, which is very useful information indeed. A great example of this is on the C flag on First Light. A lot of people don't know there's a pathway underneath the C flag, and it can really confuse you if you don't know there is one, and you'll probably just think there's people right around you but you can't find them. Knowing the maps very well is important, but knowing the radar is even more important. And the last thing to do before you go into a Crucible match is pick the right build. This is both for your subclass, your gear and your weapons. For the subclass, a prime example I would say is with the Hunter Gunslinger. A lot of people don't use Combustion or Keyhole, which allow you to get more kills with the golden gun per golden gun, if you're lucky at least. A lot of people prefer to have more golden guns, but personally I find Combustion, a perk that makes your targets explode, to be insanely good, and it has allowed me to get 4 kills with 2 shots with the golden gun, which is absolutely insane. Things like that is why you should experiment. I'm not going to be sitting here and giving you great builds for every subclass because it would just take way too long, but experiment yourself, try go over all the perks to each subclass and find the ones you think would be great for PvP. In terms of guns, I would recommend using assault rifles or hand cannons, since these are going to be the most powerful primary weapons in PvP. With the auto rifles definitely being the easier ones to use here. They're very forgiving and quite easy to use. You can definitely do very well with hand cannons, if not even better than with an assault rifle. But assault rifles are definitely the best beginner's weapon in the game, and generally speaking you're gonna have more success if you're not familiar with the hand cannons. Special weapons? I would recommend you go for a shotgun or a fusion rifle depending on how close you like to have your engagements. If you can't control engagements that well, fusion rifles are definitely gonna be the weapon for you. A shotgun requires a lot of situational awareness and map knowledge, since you need to get so close to people that it's basically melee range no matter what. If you're not that good at controlling engagements like that, the fusion rifle is going to be the weapon for you, and they counter shotguns as well. Shotguns of course being a very popular weapon in Destiny, so if you're up against a shotgun lobby and you have a fusion rifle, you're probably going to have a great time. In terms of heavy weapons, I recommend you go for a heavy machine gun. While rocket launchers can be a nuisance and it can be very efficient to kill other people with heavy weapons, machine guns are going to get you the more kills out of the two. If you manage to dodge rockets or kill the other people with heavy ammo with your machine gun, you can go on insanely long sprees with the machine guns. The next thing you gotta know is Destiny is not like any other shooter. It's a very tactical shooter and you gotta choose your engagements wisely. You gotta know the map, you gotta know how to outsmart your enemies, and you gotta know how to use the radar. We already went over how the radar works, but now you just gotta take that into your advantage. If you know someone is there, they know you're there. And while crouching can take you off the radar for a brief moment, it's not gonna take you off forever, and people are probably still gonna know you're there. Crouching is not recommended. What you want to do instead is, if you see more people, just wait for backup. Again, this is not Call of Duty, and going in and getting a quad feed is so highly unlikely, and it's probably never going to happen if you use an auto rifle. It can happen in an insanely lucky moment with a shotgun or a fusion rifle, but generally speaking, you're just going to die after getting 0 kills in that situation, because more people are going to be shooting you than you're going to be shooting them. If you can't take them all down in one shot, you're basically fucked. For that reason, you should either try to outsmart every single one of those enemies, or just wait for a teammate to come and back you up. A great example on how to outsmart an enemy is on the map Twilight Gap. On both the A and the C flag there are multiple ways to attack it. Some of them are very unusual and people do not expect you to do it. On the C flag you have the stairs leading up to it, you have the doorway, you have a place where people can jump up, but there's also a very sort of hidden place where you can jump up. Not a lot of people know about it, and you can definitely take people by surprise if you use it. The next tip is going to be aiming for the head. Whether you're using an assault rifle, a scout rifle, pulse rifle, hand cannon, machine gun, whatever, aiming for the head is going to be so beneficial for you. The headshot multipliers are relatively big in Destiny, ranging from 1.25 to 1.5 on the primaries and up to 3 times on the snipers. This means that headshots are going to be what wins you gunfights. And luckily for you, Destiny is a relatively slow-paced game, and it's not very difficult to hit these headshots once you get the hang of it. The gunfights are typically going to be won by the player who hits the most headshots, and therefore you need to practice it. You can go practice this in PvE, but it's not really the same thing. Overall, I just say, every time you get into a gunfight, just aim for the head, see how many headshots you can hit, and eventually you'll get the hang of it. Again, this ties into the sensitivity being lower will help you hit these headshots better. Another tip is to use your mobility wisely. Every class of course has a vertical ability. Now if you can jump up and shoot, you're not gonna have very good accuracy, so you don't want to shoot in the air. That is one thing you gotta know. Again, this is not Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and ADS accuracy does not apply to in-air engagements. However, you can use something like Blink on the Warlocks and Hunters to get closer to people if you're using a shotgun, or sliding on any class really. You want to take advantage of such things, even the vertical abilities. Use them wisely. I mentioned sliding, and sliding is probably the most powerful ability you have of them all in terms of movement. Especially shotgun players are going to be able to take advantage of the slide, close in a few meters on the players before they shoot them, and if you don't finish them off, you can immediately finish them off with a knife if you use the slide well. Things like this is why you should always take the movement into consideration. It is one of your strongest perks. And you can also use it to counter other players. For instance, if you see a player with a shotgun, you can use your vertical movement abilities to dodge them and maybe, just maybe, get the upper hand on them. Blink can also be useful for getting out of positions, and the focused burst on gliding in lift can be extremely good for getting away as well. The double jumping is generally speaking one of the sharpest maneuvers you can use, and it's very effective for getting both in and out of engagements if you need to. Use this to your advantage. Use all of your movement and use it wisely. Another tip in terms of movement is do not chase. You will have seen my enemies chase me multiple times in this gameplay and just get blasted by a shotgun because they did so. Chasing is never a smart idea in any shooter, but especially in Destiny with the shotguns being so powerful, you should never chase. They're just going to be waiting around the corner for you with a shotgun or a fusion rifle and you are going to be dead. And my last tip on how to improve in the Crucible is do not hesitate to go for the heavy ammo. Heavy ammo is basically free kills unless you get killed by another user using heavy ammo obviously, but you can almost always get some kills with the heavy ammo. While it can feel cheap to use all this heavy ammo because it's so easy to kill people when you have the heavy ammo, it is simply a part of Destiny's PvP and you want to take advantage of it. If you don't, some other people are certainly going to be doing it and you're going to be on the receiving end. If you want to do well in Destiny's Crucible, you gotta have that heavy ammo. And it's very rare that you're going to be getting an amazing gameplay without getting any kills with your heavy weapons whatsoever. Heavy weapons are an asset, make sure you use them. And that concludes my video on how to improve in Destiny's Crucible game mode. If you did enjoy, please feel free to leave a like down below. I really do appreciate all the support and it helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next video. Hope you have a great day.
45 kills. Oh my god.